In January of 2026, Microsoft changed the way Power BI reports function under the hood. It's a change you might have noticed or you might not have noticed, but it was a big one. They started using a new format when saving out the Power BI report files called Power BI Enhanced Report Format, or PBIR. The old version became PBIR Legacy. And in this video, we're going to be doing a technical deep dive into this format and, well, what it means for you, and hopefully you'll better understand it. Hi, my name's Ned, and I work in business intelligence, and I'm a Microsoft MVP with a focus on Power BI. And today we're going to get technical. With that said, before we jump into the computer, if you could do me a favor and you could go ahead and you could give this video a thumbs up and then scooch on over and hit the subscribe button, it would mean a lot. Okay, without further ado, let's get started and, well, let's start learning. But before we go on this journey and we talk about the new PBIR file format, we have to understand how I got here. And the truth is, this video started out as a much different video. See, I saw this comment on the Microsoft Fabric February Power BI Reddit idea post, where I interpreted that this user just wanted to be able to see all of the visuals that were involved in a bookmark. And I thought, hey, this shouldn't be a problem with the new PBIR enhanced file format, especially if you save the report in a PBIP format, which is what I have right here, a Power BI report saved in the PBIP format. And when that happens, when you have a bookmark, each bookmark gets its own JSON file. And when you open up that JSON file in something like VS Code, you can view all of the details involved in the bookmark. So I was going to write some code that was going to parse this and then provide something nice and easy. But then I got fancy because I thought, hey, why should this be a desktop script? I want it to work in Microsoft Fabric. And I saw the bookmark was referencing a lot of objects by their actual object name that was generated by the system. And I remembered a tool called PBIR Utils. Now, I have never actually used this tool. I didn't use this tool for a project, but I remembered a LinkedIn post saying that it could standardize folder names. And what do I mean by that? Well, here is a repo containing a report that has been saved in the new PBIR file format. As you can see, when you open up the pages folder, instead of having an actual page name of the reports page, you get an object ID that links to that page. And then under that in the visuals, you get actual object IDs that link to the visuals themselves, except for the fact that this is the system generated visual object ID. So what this package would do is when you run it, it would go ahead and it would rename these folders and then all of the references to these folders and these files to corresponding IDs that a human can read. Now, I did not use that package. Instead, what I went off and did is I decided that, like, hey, I was going to build my own and I was going to use semantic link labs to be able to do it. And I was able to do that with the help of Claude. I came up with this method called humanized report GUIDs that essentially gets the item definition and then goes through and remaps the paths, right? So let's go ahead and let's run this on that report that I was just showing you, which was called starting one. So here it is going, and then here I will call it down here like I did before on the other report. So hit humanize report GUID starting one on give dev, and here it'll run, and it will rename. Now, I am not going to share this method with you because it has a problem, and that is the problem that we're going to be talking about and the problem that I ended up trying to solve for the majority of this video. So let me go ahead and let me sync these changes back in to Git so you can see what happened. So now remember, going back over here, remember here is what the folders looked like before, right? And then here is what they look like now if we go ahead and we give it a refresh, right? The folder now has the page name after it, and then in the visuals section, it has the visual type and then the Z order of that visual. So either Z1 or Z0, so on and so forth. But remember though, I told you there was a problem. Well, there's actually two problems, but I don't really care about the first problem. The first problem would be, hey, anytime you updated or renamed this home folder or changed or deleted a visual, you would need to rerun my Python package, right? Because Power BI would instinctually just use the ID that it was expecting, right? It doesn't know to, hey, rename this. So that's the first problem, but I could work around that for a YouTube video demo. The real problem is that we still have reports saved in the old PBIR legacy format. And what do I mean by that? Well, on this tenant, there is this report right here called custom bar chart with DAX UDFs. And this is a Power BI file that I used for a video demo where I showed you how to build this visual, which, by the way, I'll link that video right now so you can navigate to it. And it is saved using the old PBIR file format, so not the enhanced one, the legacy one. And if you go and you look at this, what you'll notice is that it is in a completely different structure. We still have a JSON file. However, all of the data and JSON that's been broken up into individual folders is self-contained in this report JSON over here, right? It's not very human readable. It's not very broken out. And so I thought, well, that shouldn't be a problem. Let me go try to write some code where I convert the data from the old PBIR file format into the new PBIR file format. And that is where I spent the majority of this video and where we're going to get even more technical, but in a fun way. So Microsoft does not have any kind of official public-facing API for moving a report from PBIR Legacy to PBIR Enhanced. However, if you edit a report in the service or with a newer version of Power BI, it will automatically update the report to the new file format. So let's go ahead and let's kind of prove that out, right? So here I am. Navigating into my Power BI tenant. And if I go into that report that I was just showing you that is in the old file format, and I click right here and I go edit and I don't change anything and I just simply hit save, right? It'll say the report is saved. And now when I go into source control, it'll flag a difference. And when I sync it into Git, what we will be able to see is that it has been upgraded to the newest file format. So give it 1 second here. There we are, commit. And if we refresh this, what you'll see is that we no longer have that same file format, but we now have it in the new PBIR file format. So if Microsoft is able to do this with an edit and a save, that means there must be some kind of unofficial API that does this. So I went ahead and I hit F12 to open DevTools, navigated on over to the Network tab, then selected Fetch XHR, and I went ahead and edited this report, right? And then saved it. And you can start to see all kinds of APIs that Microsoft is calling behind the scenes. And what you can go ahead and do is you can export all of those APIs into what's called a HAR file by clicking this little download button right here where my mouse is. Now, once you have this file, you can then feed it into an LLM and you can ask it to extract out API calls. And that's pretty much exactly what I did. Now, there are a few different API calls that are going on that are important to this conversion. The first one is fetching metadata about the report. The next one is exploring the report right here. And then there is one more down here that is posting using what's called an updated report v2. Now, I was pretty sure that this right here is what was creating the new PBIP file format, but it takes the inputs of an exploration document in existing package IDs. First, let's take a look at what exactly this metadata API is returning, because it's actually pretty interesting. So I'm going to go print data right here, and I'm going to comment out these other lines. Well, actually, I'm going to Control X them out. So let's go ahead and let's run this, and let's take a look at this metadata that we're getting. And by the way, I can authenticate into this API by using the notebook utils section of Microsoft Fabric, which is going to automatically get a token for me. So here it is, and here is all of the metadata. And as you can see, there's actually some really interesting things in here around like refresh times and true false settings. But the most important one is there is a internal report ID all the way up here that is different from the report GUID. You can then take that internal report ID, right? And we can use it in the next API down, which is the Explore Reports API. So let's take a look at what this one returns, right? And here we are. And as you can see, it looks like it is the actual metadata of the report, right? So like if we start to see, right, there's theme references in here and there's actual JSON. So what that then means is that what we're then feeding to the updated report UI is the actual metadata of the report, so it can go ahead and perform the upgrade. Well, actually not so fast. You see, there must be some other kind of internal service behind the scenes that is actually kind of parsing and repartitioning that JSON. And I tried to recreate that with an LLM, which is the method that I'm showing you right here on the screen right now. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I spent hours parsing through this JSON, right? I let an LLM do it. But what you get is you get something that when you run, successfully converts into a PBIR new file format, right? So we get a status 200, and then we get a successful confirmation message, or at least on the surface, it appears to successfully convert. So I had reset the PBIR file that I showed you earlier that was converted, right? So here it is, right? I had reset it. You just saw me run that cell. So let's go back over here into dev, and let's go ahead and let's check these changes into Git. So let's give it a second. There it is. It picked up on the change, and we are moving them back into Git. And what you should see is that my method that I just ran successfully upgraded the report file format to the new one. So let's go ahead and let's give this a refresh. And as you can see, look, it did successfully upgrade. That is at least until you actually open up the report here, and where you can see, hey, what is this? It turned a title back on, which kind of messed up this visual. This title wasn't here before. So at this point, we are now 3 days into writing this code, and we're 2 days into this video, which is why my outfit has changed. And we are faced with a choice. Do we continue down the path of struggling with Microsoft's internal APIs that they probably will change at any given point in time as they need to? Or do we conclude this video and hope that you, the viewer, can take away very distinctly what the difference is between PBIR Legacy and PBIR Enhanced? And ultimately, I went with the latter. I think this video is a really interesting demonstration as to what changed between the two file report formats, and I hope that you thought so as well. If you did, again, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel because it means a lot. All right, I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you enjoyed this video.